Good evening to you all. In the same way that discomfort in the physical body signals to you that you are positioning your body incorrectly with relation to your physical environment, discomfort in your emotional body or nervous system is signaling to you that you are positioning yourself incorrectly in your perception on a given topic. In the same way, it is simple to adjust one's position, to take the weight off of a foot or shift an elbow. One can shift ever so slightly in their perception, and emotional or energetic discomfort will vanish. Much of your discomfort on an emotional or energetic level is directly related to how stubborn you are in wanting to remain in the same position. In part, this is because you have not learned or understood or remembered that your shifting of perception or opinion or judgment is as simple and natural to you as lifting your arm. It has served you until this point to hold steadfast to your ideas because you had a belief that your ideas and opinions or mental positioning was in fact your identity or fundamental to your identity. But it is a time where you have the freedom and the accelerated energetic backing to once and for all disconnect your conception of identity from anything other than you are as a core. We are curious as to your discomforts at this time, specifically because revealing them or becoming aware of them allows you such a potent untangling. We would say that this time, in this now, for you, that you have chosen, is quite magical. We're not referring only to the circumstantial situations on your planet, which we will remind you are no different than any other circumstantial situations on your planet, nor have they ever been. For each circumstance or situation is interchangeable. But because of the accelerated desire of you all as a collective to get to the bottom of what has been occurring, what is occurring within you. Tonight we will dedicate this time that we are honored to share with you to the untangling or natural movement out of your core discomforts and the potential discussion of the energies that are supporting you, which are currently far beyond your imagination, and which introducing into your imagination provides you with the opportunity to bring them into your manifested reality. We would love to hear how you are.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
I would love to hear more about the supportive energies you just mentioned.
There is a belief that humanity is alone, separate from source or God, what you will call the all that is, and a belief that you have been abandoned here upon your planet, that you have been abandoned to your physical existence, which is too often peppered with the perception of suffering. For you are indeed uncomfortable for the majority of your time. You have forgotten, however, that the fundamental, or a part of the fundamental aspect of you being on this planet is not on the planet. The beings that you are do not have a location within your atmosphere. Each and every one of you is the receptor or receiver of your direct soul stream. And these energies do not come from your earth. They are housed in creatures of your earth, but they do not come from it. They do not come from another earth. They come from the universal energies that are all surrounding you. In these universal energies, there are multitudes of beings. There are all of your other selves, all of the other human beings in the same soup that you are sourced from. And currently, you have more of a support from other beings that are not attached to earth creatures, to mud and dirt creature vessels. The more you tap into your own soul stream, the more access you have for conversations and direct support from the other beings that are all around you. And now is a time that they are consciously aiding you to dismantle all it is that you continue to stubbornly believe makes you who you are. There is a urgency to this work, but only on the level from which a urgency has been decided to be created. For there is never any true urgency, but on the level of which we are talking with these collaborators, there is a urgency in the same way one would have an urgency to watch their football team win a championship. This is a beautiful opportunity for all of you and a declaration of your potential to relax into who you are, as it is no longer your sole responsibility to do so. In that, you are supported in your responsibility with teams and teams and teams of infinite beings who are cheering for your side. All you have to do is give them permission. And we know this is difficult because we have direct experience with how difficult one can make it to give permission.
I have a question. I'm wondering, can you give us more information when you mentioned that we are receptor and receiver of the soul stream? If I'd like to hear more on receptor and receiver, if possible, please.
Yes, the body, the physical body, is a piece of technology. It is the equivalent of your mobile phones. Your mobile phone would be completely useless if it was not connected to a data network or to your Wi-Fi. You would not be able to make any calls in or out. You would not be able to use or have access to any of the information that you so easily have access to at this time. If you are lucky, you might have the game of Snake on your phone to pass the time. We are joking, haha. But your body is the mobile phone connected to the network. In exactly the same way that you do not see the data until it is appearing upon your screen and it is coming through the waves in the air, your soul stream is not visible until it is arriving within your physical vessel and then is able to be communicated into your physical reality. It does not mean that it is not there, or that if your phone were destroyed, suddenly the internet would be destroyed with it. All the data that was being streamed to your phone would still exist, and all you would need to do would be to buy a new phone, put in your new password, and you would be instantly reconnected. This is exactly the way that human incarnation works. Your bodies, your personalities are simply the actual physical gadget and the interface through which the technology is running. The important aspect is the connection. Imagine, if you will, that originally, or up until recently, humans only had the ability to make telephone calls. Suddenly, the internet is introduced, and there is infinite information available at the touch of a button. This is what we are speaking of when we say how supported you are currently. You have gone from being able to only call out and receive calls to be able to receive all the data that is available in all of the vastness of consciousness. Your bodies are, in fact, at this moment being upgraded to be able to handle that data. It is as if you are installing new applications. This is why many of you are feeling tired. It is a systems update. However, if you never choose to open those applications to see what new gadgets and data are available to you, you will not be able to take advantage of the fact that you now have access to all of this extra information. Or in this case, you all have access to the ability to undo everything it is that you are not with the support of all that information that is available to you, or in this case, the energy of the beings who are not telephones that are transmitting to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, long time no see.
Hello.
I have a question about, well, let me just describe my situation and then maybe you can like share a bit on it. This is something that would normally be very clear to me and very simple and very like boom, 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 boom. But I feel like maybe I'm missing a certain aspect of clarity or something. So I'm creating a program, and I'm struggling to get like a very specific frequency that I know it's meant to be fully integrated into it. And then also I feel like I'm with the time constraint or the chosen time constraint that I have before I leave. I feel like I'm not sure if I'm meant to go with it as it is or sit back and like allow the next level of frequency to come in, or like really how to navigate this process, so to speak. And I just feel like maybe I'm not seeing it correctly or holding myself back in a certain way. Could you comment on say this process, or do you want me to ask a more specific question, or if you kind of got what you need to respond?
We will respond. There's no need to take ownership for anything that is coming through you. If you had a desire for a certain flavor, or as you said, frequency for an offering, and that desire was what was meant to come through you, there would be no efforting to arrive at it. At times, circumstance will present in order to show you where you are being too rigid and where more surrender would perhaps not bring you your desired results, but would be the more natural course of action. Whenever one struggles in any way, they are missing the signposts that say that the direction that they are struggling in is not necessary. However, at times, the struggle itself is necessary in order to understand where it is one can free themselves more deeply. We are aware that you would like to offer your services at the highest caliber that you are possible, that you are capable of, and you are currently doing so. It is important to care about your work, but in this particular case, it may be more efficient to let go and allow that frequency to come to you instead of attempting to obtain it from whatever position you believe yourself to be in at this time. As you said, your deadline is self-imposed. The frequency you are hoping for will come or it won't. If it comes, it will certainly aid in what you are attempting to do. And if it doesn't come, it will also aid in what you are attempting to do. It is just that the definition of what you are attempting to do will be potentially different in these two cases. We would enjoy hearing more about your process on this.
First of all, thank you. That was really clear. I think the whole process feels difficult because of the deadline, because of moving to a new destination on the 31st or the 1st. So I'm imposing a specific window of time. And I do recognize that the process has been really, when I've surrendered to it, it's actually been, the process I've been brought through has been, from what I can understand, teaching me what I'm meant to share. And perhaps like the current process I'm going through is also enabling me to share on the next level of it. But I think today and yesterday, I feel the simultaneous, like very strong activation of the frequency of my consciousness towards just really having everything complete and it available to the world to begin, like on Friday. Yet also having like physical, like my physical vehicle feeling quite tired. So that to me is like an indicator of slow down. So I feel like I'm getting signals to like speed up but slow down at the same time. So I feel a bit confused.
You may trust your physical vehicle and appreciate the intention to want to have it perfect and to want to have it done. We suggest holding that intention while simultaneously trusting your physical vehicle for inspiration or answers arise when they arise. They cannot be arrived at before you are receptive to them, and you may not be receptive to them until you trust your physical vehicle. We know that there is a stigma or conditioning about being lazy or not producing or not running at full capacity. But the idea of running at full capacity is different for each and every one of you. And many of you are already working on a level that is more non-physical than physical. Your mind is part of your physical vehicle, or at least your brain is, which is the receiver of the information that passes through your mind. It is all connected, although you have tried your darndest to disconnect the two. Intention creates reality. If it is your intention to complete the project while you are sleeping, this is what will come to pass. And you can always move the deadline.
This is true. I think maybe my mind is just has a preference towards the completion of it before I travel and be in a different place. But I suppose I could still continue it when I get there as well. It doesn't have to be a certain way.
No. And it will do you well to remember that preferences do not come from your soul. Your soul does not have any preferences. Your higher self does not care about a single thing.
Mm-hmm. So would you say in this situation, it's kind of like I'm accessing what wants to come through my soul, but I'm filtering it through a set of mental preferences towards a specific deadline, a specific amount of time, and a specific idea of what's best.
Yes.
Versus letting it be as it naturally wants to be.
Yes. And as we said, the alleviating of this discomfort is as simple as moving your arm. You simply have to slightly change your position on the topic. The discomfort comes from wanting to stay in exactly the same position you are already in. You do not know what wonderful thing will appear by not pursuing your preference.
True.
You cannot know better than your higher self. You cannot know better than the universe.
So true. Thank you. That's very clear.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a personal question, and we spoke before in the personal session, but I'm still going through the same thing, and it's just becoming more and more difficult. I really don't know what to do anymore because I've tried like surrendering or loving the situation or any suggestions that have been given, but it really is the same struggle of what seems to have happened is this like energetic impact from some energy healers created huge disconnection in my being, in different parts of my like body, mind, energy. And it's almost like the feelings as well that I have had recently is almost like I'm disappearing completely. And it's a very scary feeling. It's like there is no me left in my body anymore, and it's just pain and very dense, low frequency vibrations. And I really don't know what to do anymore. It really feels like there is like holes like everywhere, like in my heart, in my brain, and I can no longer think any like higher thoughts. It's only very dense thoughts that are like torturing me. And if there is any suggestion on what might be going on, or how I might be able to shift it, because my feeling is what happened is that I actually can no longer be myself or be on my purpose or be on this planet anymore. It's almost like this expression of soul or source has been so damaged that it is no longer able to be here, and it's almost like it's not even there anymore. It just keeps disintegrating. That is the feeling that I have. So if there's anything you can say.
First, we would like to extend our compassion to your situation. We hear how you are struggling and the discomfort that you are facing. We would like to remind you that you are very strong to have chosen this particular theme to have expressed through you, that your soul is a very strong and noble soul for having arranged itself to come to this existence with a situation that is so challenging for you. Our suggestion can only be from this space to attempt, if possible, and we will inquire with you directly if it is possible, to cultivate love for the self that is suffering? Are you able to look at you from an external perspective and feel compassion for yourself in the way that we do for you at this time?
Well, my feeling is that like I can no longer feel love anymore, and it's almost like I cannot escape this like body as it is right now. I can see what you're suggesting though.
Well, that is already a step in the correct decision. If you are able, we suggest to each and every moment that you feel these negative sensations, to attempt ever so slightly to tap into the part of you that is able to comfort the one that is having those sensations. We would also suggest the research of other selves that are able to support you in a more direct fashion, whether these be friends or guides. For at this time, it sounds as if you need love to be given to you. And if you are not able to source that yourself, there is nothing wrong with that. It is something that is learned, or perhaps at times forgotten and relearned. But you are in a position to be able to call in those who will have compassion for you, not pity, because you are not a victim. You are simply in a situation that you have not yet learned to see through the eyes of love. It is not infinite. We repeat, your situation is not infinite. It is finite. Change is occurring at all times. You may be surprised to find that change appears out of nowhere the moment you allow yourself to believe that it can. We also sense a lot of fear in you that there is no exit from this drama, that there is no way out of this problem, but you are not seeing that you are the door. You are being asked to look at your experience, to feel every nuance of it, including believing that you are disappearing and feeling that sensation of no longer being a person in a body, and to find the way to be okay with that, to then be in service with that learning. You are not the only one on your planet who is facing the exact same situation. And each and every one of those beings that is feeling exactly the way that you are feeling right now will benefit from you having gone through this and coming out the other side. We know that this may not be comfort in this moment, but we do know that what we are transmitting will stay with you, and you will be able to find some light. No matter what you choose, it is okay to relax.
As you are suggesting to ask for assistance and like receiving love and compassion, I actually feel that the worse that this is getting, the less of it I'm getting, and the reflection of other people and people who are close to me is that they don't understand this at all, and they approach it from a place of fear in themselves, and which creates even more disconnection with them and even more hurt in my heart. So even in that way, it just feels that it keeps it just keeps like growing stronger, all the disconnection.
Yes, we understand how that could be a scenario. We wonder if you have attempted to contact someone who has chosen as their life service to be in aid of someone in your situation on a professional level.
I have tried a lot of people, like a lot, and no one has been able to give me something that actually worked in any sort of way. It just created more despair in me and feeling that I'm actually not savable anymore, because anything they suggest and I try, this thing just keeps getting worse in me. And yeah, and so that also creates the feeling of there is no way out.
We would like to remind you that there is no savable, as you are always ever presently safe, no matter how you perceive of your situation. However, we understand as well that this could be an issue with people not being able to help, and you then assigning the beliefs that you are not helpable. We would like to suggest that perhaps some of your trouble is related to your physical vehicle, and that you have assumed it to be of a spiritual nature, and to not give up on finding someone who can or who is qualified to, and we do not like to use the word qualified because we are not using it the way that you use qualified, but someone who is available for people like you who need this form of help.
Well, I just don't know where to search anymore.
You have all our love.
And I also feel that, as you said in the beginning, that my soul chose this theme. My feeling is that it is like what happened is actually not supposed to have happened. It's like, it's almost like it actually destroyed my soul path, and I feel like I, in a way, created this by like giving into fear, and then like the situation just progressed into this. So
No. You are not more powerful than the universe. You did not choose something that threw the universe off its course. That would mean the end of the universe. And not only what you are saying is the end of your individuation. You cannot ever perform any act that is not already preordained and approved of by all that is. There is nothing that was never supposed to be. Everything that is supposed to be. And this includes every horror on your planet, every ill-fitting pair of jeans. There is not a single hair out of place in all of existence. The sooner you release this belief, which is erroneous, the faster you will regain your sovereignty and be put in a position of power where you can indeed change your reality. At the moment in time, you have given all of your power away to an incident that you believe was not supposed to happen. It is this belief that is the core belief that is keeping you from having any sort of help be received and from having any sort of progress towards feeling better. How could you possibly feel better if you have messed up the entire universe? The truth is you have not. You are perfectly where you are meant to be to learn exactly what you are meant to learn.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do we have time for another question?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm curious, when you are sort of completing one chapter and moving into the next chapter. And you can sense a big contrast between them both. How to navigate the like the preparation. Is there actual intuitive preparation being offered, or is some of it like maybe fears or limiting beliefs about that are generating the belief that you need to have this preparation? So I'm curious how to navigate these in-between periods, so to speak, as I am moving on to a new chapter in 2 weeks that I feel will be quite different.
You can believe that preparation is necessary if you choose to. It is not. We cannot prepare for the now. The now is. And in 2 weeks, when you arrive at your new now, you will simply be in the now. Whether or not 2 weeks prior you had arranged for something or not, you will find yourself in that situation, and the thing that you had arranged could or couldn't be, depending upon what was required of that new now. The only reason why preparation would be necessary would be because in this now, you choose to make preparation necessary, and you choose to pass your moment or be in your moment in that preparated stage. So we say, if it feels good to prepare, go ahead. If it does not, do not. It is your choice. If you choose to do what does not feel good, that is also a choice, and that will also bring fruits. Because as we said, there is nothing that is supposed to happen or was supposed to happen or isn't supposed to happen or wasn't supposed to happen. Everything that is happening, and everything that happened didn't actually happen because it is not happening in this now, and everything that will happen won't actually happen because it is not happening in this now. So your focus can be wholeheartedly on this now, in the way, however way you want to have it, because it is all that matters. And it is so much more relaxing to simply focus on what is right in front of you. We would suggest not to leave your current situation 2 weeks early by preparing for your future situation if your current situation is pleasing to you. We do believe our opening statements were very pertinent to this evening's conversation. Discomfort, though we do not undervalue its potency in your experience, is a signal to you that you are positioned incorrectly. Change your position and the discomfort will vanish. We believe there is one more question or element remaining in this evening's discourse. Is there anyone who had something to say or elaborate on?
Yes. I wanted some clarification because you said in this transmission the phrase, preferences do not come from the soul. The higher self does not care about a single thing. Just comparing that with, I think, another transmission where you talked about where our desires come from, being like, as I received it, this is not word for word, our desires being like holy, or basically from like our desires being our path. Could you just merge those two for me?
Yes.
Thank you.
You can imagine a puppet master who is putting on a show. They've decided beforehand the script, and they are moving their marionette. The script is there. It is what they desired for the marionette to perform. perhaps a love scene with another character. They do not have the preference of the marionette, who hopes that the lover does not leave after the act is complete. They are simply playing and watching to see if the strings get tangled, and at times helping to untangle them. But just in the same way that they picked up the marionette in the first place, they would put it down. They are not attached to the story. Sure, they have an intention to entertain the audience or entertain themselves, but they do not have the preference of the characters in the scenes. If the marionette suddenly had a preference and grabbed the other puppet, the scene would be ruined. Could you imagine the struggle between the puppet master and the puppet? It wouldn't be very entertaining for either of them, because the puppet master would eventually get its way. And the marionette, having thought that it had independent will beyond that of its higher self, or puppet master in this case, would feel disempowered. What it hasn't realized is that it is the puppet master. It is an extension of its hands. Its free will is in connecting with the will of its master. And indeed, its master is divine. We hope that this analogy has clarified.
That was really deep. Thank you. Multi-leveled. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And with that, we believe that the evening's conversation is complete. We thank you all for your presence. We send you off with infinite love and support, and have the intention that our knowing of your worth and our immense love and the immense love that the universe has for you is sufficient for you to be able to make the choice to allow yourself to feel less discomfort, because that is truly what we wish for you. And with that, the light and the love of 1,000 suns. Anai.
Hi, Jessie.
Hi.